season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. Now the Chargers are going to look up here and signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Throwing now, Lawrence on first down. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's second down. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Now Lawrence to throw. Steps away to his left. And now he'll let this one go deep, back over the middle. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
An early message that this secondary is going to be tested, because even though it fell incomplete, it almost felt like a warning shot to get things going.
Crowd getting in it a bit already. Here's an early 3rd and 10. Here's Lawrence to throw.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. And he takes a shot on the release, as this will be incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. First carry for the Clemson man, Travis Etienne. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Well, this defense for the Chargers, they played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
Now into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And the Chargers are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Randy Gregory just creating a disaster there for the offense as that one goes 16 yards in the wrong direction. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. Another try after the first down sack. Herbert. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen.
He's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Check 26, check 26. Slam.
Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. His throw incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On 2nd down, Eckler. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe. So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that. And by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know that funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team.
And he's going to have the first down at about the 38.
Okay, you and I are sitting up here getting ready to analyze whether they should go for it or not. Did you see the quarterback just point to the sideline and say, everybody back, I've got this call?
Well, you knew this side of the field, they're in plus territory, 4th and 1. He wasn't coming off the field.
No, he wasn't coming off the field, and he wasn't letting the offense go with him at all. He said, we're staying out here, and we're picking this one up. That's some leadership right there.
Meanwhile, Herbert's throw taken in by Palmer. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
Second and 6.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. Flushed out right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. And they'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Here's Herbert. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll just get rid of it. Jacksonville's pass defense holds serve. 4th down. Here's Josh Lambo now for the Charger field goal. On the right hash. Officially, this will be a 51-yard attempt. And Lambo will put this one through. And the Chargers grab themselves a 3-0 lead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not.
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. What a start defensively. Your offense goes out, gets the touchdown, and then you get the interception. Just perfect.
How about the discipline that they showed on defense? Because after the offense scored to go up 7-zip, you would think they might be a little... Instead, they read their keys well. When they took the shot downfield, they were more than prepared for that one.
Now a 2nd down and 6. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Touchdown, Chargers! Josh Palmer, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Chargers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point tacked on by Lambo. And the lead grows to 10-0. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the... Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. To this point, the results have not been good. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
And that's obviously something that can't continue, but to go a little bit deeper on that one, I would think about some play calls now, not even necessarily to my best player, but to someone I can trust with the ball. Try and get things settled down a little bit.
On 1st down, Lawrence. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Play action this time for Justin Herbert. And his throw is incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into a bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
Throwing quickly, and Herbert completes it. Heck of a broken tackle, but only able to work this down near the 23. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. Herbert. And that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
The kick by Lambo is good, and that'll push the lead up to 13-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive or no? Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So they keep the football, but now face 2nd and long. Lawrence. He'll buy some time right. That'll be caught right side. Chenault with it. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. A play fake for Robinson. Now Lawrence fighting through pressure. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Lawrence. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Running on 1st down, Eckler. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Now it's Herbert. That's going to be caught. It's Palmer. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to zone.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Dwayne Smoot able to get in there and run him down for what's going to be a loss of 15 yards all told. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Another try after the 1st down sack. Herbert. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And, it's incomplete. That would have been 6 points, but somehow he couldn't rein it in. They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A 2nd one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back to him, continue the hot hand, and make them adjust to you defensively. I like what they were trying to get done, even though they weren't successful.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call the playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Throwing again on second down. Lawrence. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
This offense has definitely been slow getting out of the gate. It's almost like they missed their wake-up call for this one. No points on their first two possessions, and now it's looking like none on this one either.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on fourth down, and they're going to go for it. And they'll try and throw for it with Lawrence. Open man is Uzama. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
Well, they picked up the first down, but I'm just going to say I didn't like it before the ball was snapped, and I don't like it now that they picked it up. Think about field position on their own side of the 50. They don't get it. They put their defense in a bad spot, and it's just not a decision that pays off very often.
Well, it wasn't fourth and a yard. There was some meat on that bone.
There really was. Fortunate to get it in that situation, but not a call I would make very often. Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Now Lawrence on first down. He's going to air one out. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off down near the 5. And he will bring this all the way up to the 30-yard line. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
But based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. The wise move there, looked like nobody open, now second down.
And I could see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Back to the air. Herbert on second down. Throw left side is hauled in by Palmer. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On first down, Justin Herbert. Wide open, it's Allen, complete. Touchdown, You're looking at guys that can run like the wind. You often find them at the wide receiver position, and that was special there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee, as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to try and go deep again. He's got a man. Complete. Trucks over him. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's first down on the other side of the field. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. Flush to his right. And boy, another ill-advised throw there as that will wind up incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off. That fell incomplete.
That's going to be caught. It's Chenot. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a first and goal.
Again, it's Lawrence. And now here's another interception. Snags it for the pick. And the Chargers are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one, as we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. From his end zone, Travis Homer. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Charger drive about to get going. The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And that one complete to his receiver, Palmer. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Herbert's throw into the hands of his receiver, Guyton. And he's brought down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second half blowout material. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
At the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert. Open man is Palmer. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A big gain that time for the Chargers.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field. Pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route, well run, and the football, right on the money.
Eckler. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Herbert now. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, LA. Josh Palmer with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Chargers take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Now following the touchdown, Hoff-Richter to kick off. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Cost them.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Throwing now, Lawrence on 1st down. And he held on to it too long. A coverage sack. Down he goes. And keep in mind, in addition to the 2 sacks that he now has, CD, he's also had a couple of quarterback hurries. He's been very disruptive.
To put it mildly, and it reminds me of the time I asked an offensive tackle who struggled like this in a game. He said he was telling the coach, hey, what do you want me to do? This guy's just eating me alive. And the coach finally just looked at him and said, applaud.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. Able to complete this to Chenault. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers' 22-yard line. From the gun, it's Lawrence. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. I think the receivers...
And my goodness, another interception. Derwin James with a pick. And the Chargers are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
So the hold on special teams backs him up all the way inside the 15 to start. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. DeJuan Smoot with a tackle.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Herbert. He dumps it to Eckler underneath. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third-quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
Draw play. It's Eckler. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Justin Herbert looking to pass. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Miles Jack. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. Well, they get a fourth-quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over.
Marvin Jones. A gain of 16 yards. First down, Jacksonville.
And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence. And they're going to... After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From the shotgun, Lawrence. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Joey Bosa able to record his 5th sack of the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
And with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. Looking downfield for Jones. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And the Chargers are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8.
It's Eckler again. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 69 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense. When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
It's 3rd down and 6.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. Herbert takes it and just pops it forward. Gets through, and now an opening. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Back to throw here, Herbert. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. And here's Hofrichter now, the punter, as he sends this one away. Well, pretty woeful there. Just 23 yards on the punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lawrence. And my goodness, another interception. Picked by Kenneth Murray. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. CD, this defense, man, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
And room there to work it inside the 25. 80 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty. But it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down. Once more, here's Eckler. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker. So this one's over. It's in the win column for the L.A. Chargers. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton